Alright guys, I'm in the shop today with my T5 and I'm wanting to make a video of removal and installation of this loader, this 835TL loader. And before I do that, I wanted to show y'all a little, it's not really a problem, but something that irritates me about this loader and when you take it off, and I'm going to try to resolve it. But that's this right here. When you take this loader off and it's been off this tractor one time, this right here is the stand, folds down, and then you put this little arm here, fold it down and hook it down there in that in those grooves. But that's the part that sits on the ground right there, and most of the time it's sitting in the gravel, and as you can see on the other one and this one here, it makes them look not so good anymore. And then that's the only thing that you tend to see when you're sitting in the seat of this tractor, because they're facing you. All you can see is scratched up paint when you look down the loader. Well, that's not all you can see, but that's all my mind focuses on. It may not bother some people, and I'm sure it doesn't, but it does bother me. I'm particular about my tractors and how they look. So I'm going to try to come up with a piece of either rubber or plastic. The holes are already here, and try to bolt on these feet to keep the paint from getting skin up. I don't think I would feel so bad about it if it was a piece of rubber or plastic sitting on the ground getting skin up instead of my paint. And so we're going to do that first, and we'll see how that goes. Then we'll take the loader off and put it back on. Alright, so here's what I ended up with out of those poly plates that I put on the stands for this loader. Now when I set it down in the gravel, it won't be scratching the paint. These are carriage bolts that I just ground on and flattened the heads down a little bit, and it turned out pretty good. I think that'll do what I want it to do and keep the loader looking a little nicer, so it won't rust right there after the paint gets scratched off. So that'll alleviate that problem, hopefully. Alright, well, let's move on to taking the loader on and off of this tractor. Alright guys, so let's get started taking this loader off. I'll go ahead and I'll take it off the tractor, and we'll look at it for a second, and I'll put it right back on the tractor so you can see how it's all done. It's really simple, but the first thing you got to do is pull these two legs down. I already had that one unlatched, and I like to put this arm into the third slot. Seems to work the best. You raise up on that foot, and that unlocks it from here. Let it down, hook it into the third slot. Alright, the next thing you got to do is you have to unlock the pins. So you pull these out and you twist this one to the right, and that locks it outward, locks the pin out. This one over here, you pull it out and turn it to the left, and that locks it out. And see, it sits on top of this little plastic piece that's bolted to this upright. So the next thing we got to do is get in the tractor, start it up. Now you got to wait 3 seconds for the hydraulics to turn on. Alright, we'll set the loader on the ground. Now, what you do now is you got to roll the bucket over and put some down pressure on the loader. So once you do that, you you push down with the main loader control. You go down, and that moves those two arms forwards, so it will release it from the tractor. Now once you've done that, you can curl your bucket backwards, and that will allow the loader to, the back of the loader to actually raise up and come off the two pins that it's resting on. And I'll show you once we get it off. So I'm going to curl the bucket back, and you've seen the loader raise off of its pins, and now the loader is actually released from the tractor. So we're going to put the parking brake on, make sure we're in neutral. We'll get out of the tractor. We're going to close this off, close this valve off, and we're going to release the hydraulic lines. Set it over here out of the way. We'll take the cover, put it over the hydraulic connections, and then you mount this onto the loader for storage. We're now completely disconnected from the loader. And we can back away. It's that simple. Make sure you don't crash your loader, your hood of your tractor into the loader. That's kind of important. So we'll get out and take a look at it without the loader. All right, well, I got the loader off this tractor. Let me show you a little problem I was having with it and before, but I've got it fixed now. So what it was this lock pin right here. It's spring loaded. To release it, you pull it out from the loader and you twist this plastic piece, and it stays out like this. And see, the pin is up in there, and what happens is this piece right here is designed to hit this piece right here when you pull the tractor back into the loader, and it automatically will lock the loader onto the tractor. Well, what was happening was it would hit this and twisted it, but it wasn't fully engaging back into the loader all the way. The pin would stop just as it would start into this hole. So I thought maybe the hole had some rust or something, so I took a die grinder and I worked on the hole a little bit and I lubricated it, and still the same thing, it wouldn't go in there. So what I finally did was I loosened these 3 bolts right here, and then I unlocked it, and it went all the way in. So, and then I tightened the bolts back. They are actually tight now, and it's working correctly. So if you have this issue, that's what I recommend doing. Just take it off the tractor, loosen the bolts, lock the pin in the holes, and then retighten the bolts with it all lined up, and that should take care of the problem. So you pull it out like this. It's hard to do one-handed, but you pull it out and twist it, and it locks back in position, and it's ready to go on the tractor. So we'll go ahead now and we will put the loader back on the tractor. So first of all, you want to drive the tractor back as close as you can to the loader. And of course you want to get the uprights back into the loader. Put it neutral, parking brake. Unhook the hydraulic connection back up. This is so simple right here, guys. This was the hardest part of the T4 that I had, was doing the hydraulic connections. And look at me. This goes here. This goes here. And that's all there is to it. Turn this valve back on. I got to talking and had to think about that hydraulic connection there for a second. You don't never do that, do you? Alright, so we wait 3 seconds for the hydraulics to re-engage on this electronic joystick. Now, the next thing that I need to do is to lower the brackets down onto the uprights, or lower the loader down onto the loader upright brackets on the tractor. And I do that by curling the bucket over. And see, it brings the loader down. Sometimes you have to move the tractor, pull the tractor up, position it a little bit. Now the loader has completely set down onto its grooves. There's 2 grooves in the top of that bracket like this, and there's a pin in the loader that sets down into that groove. So once you've got it back into that groove by tilting the bucket over, then you start raising the loader, and this is when it's going to lock. Both pins just locked in successfully. You want to just check that visually. You raise the loader up to where you can get to your stands without bending over. Put it in neutral, parking brake. We'll shut the tractor down. Now the loader is back on the tractor. All you have left to do is fold up your stand. Just make sure they're locked in good. That one locks in easier than the other one, but that's all there is to it, guys. It's so simple. Even a caveman could do it, if cavemen had T5.120s. But I really like this loader. I like it better than the one that was on the T4 that I had, and the reason is they have made all this narrower. You can see around it easier. The arms are narrower. It picks up more weight, which it is a bigger tractor, so it should pick up more weight. But it is easier to take on and off, because the T4 had big pins you had to pull out and store, and then you had to put them back in manually in both sides, and that took time. The legs on it had pins you had to pull out and store, and it just wasn't as convenient as this one. This one, it just takes no time to take it off and put it back on, and I'm really impressed with it. The quick coupler on this loader is a lot higher quality. You can just tell the levers feel better and more rugged on it, and it's a whole lot better loader overall, and I'm real happy with the loader on this tractor, and I'm happy with the tractor overall. So alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you like it. If you didn't, tell me why not in the comments. And if you have any questions about this loader or this tractor, if you're thinking about buying one or just have a question, feel free to ask me in the comment section below, and we'll see y'all in the next video.